Welcome back, everybody. Automotive Inc. here. Today we are doing a heat torture test across the plains. I had to come out and get the trailer so we can actually get it up for our next big test of the it's a big test. You want to subscribe. So before you do that, look down there in the corner, smash the subscribe button for me. At the end of the video, hit a like and notification bell. This all helps my small channel out, guys. Again, we are always trying to be objective on here, not subjective. So we always put the trucks to the test and see what we can do. So we are out here picking up my smaller trailer. This is the 14.5 when it's all loaded up and everything. And so we are going to be doing this torture test up from here, my hometown, to Denver, which is all up a grade, I guess, if you will, as we go up in elevation. And we are going to see right now, again, it is only about 8:30 in the morning and we are almost at 80 degrees. They anticipate it should be right around 99 by the time I get back up there. And when I say, guys, are we going to get this thing hot? Somebody the other day is like, did he say he's going to try and get his truck hot? I'm not trying to do anything, all right, like that. I'm not trying to abuse the vehicles. What I want to know is we all buy these trucks to tow, to work, and everything like that. Some people buy them just because they love the look and they want to drive that. That's great. But for the majority, most people are buying these trucks to put to work. So what I mean by getting hot is I want to see, even with higher temps in the environment, if the truck can then do what it needs to do to keep itself cool, keep itself running good, and stuff like that. I'm never going to overheat this truck and try and keep running just so I can see if I can blow it up. But there are some vehicles where stuff, when the temps outside start getting a little hotter, they start getting a little wonky, and so we're going to be checking that. So before we get started, we are going to go through the trailer setup real quick. So every time you plug in your trailer, it deactivates Christ traffic alert, which is on the bumper, which is kind of nice. The Chevy itself, you kind of had to hit a button on one of those things. Maybe on the more up-trim ones it didn't, but on Kong I had to deactivate that so it didn't just annoy the heck out of me. So we're going to go to select a trailer. As you guys know, I've saved the Cruising Castle, which is the big boy, and River. I haven't put our small little trailer in here yet, the older one. That's Tess. We're going to hit River here. And from here, it's going to go back through here just saying that the auxiliary sensor fault, blind spot deactivation, blah, blah, blah. We know that. Now, I did turn on the actual trailer blind spot monitoring. So if you go through here, you can go through here and actually turn up certain things. This trailer is already set for us. What I will do from here is I'm just going to back out of this screen and we're going to do the trailer light check. Again, what this does is you can see right there on the screen, it goes through all the stuff. So if you're hooking up alone, you don't have a spotter or anything with you to check all those things, it will run the sequence 5 times and then shut off. If you need help on troubleshooting, you can. But let's just hit the start and cycle the lights. So as we walk around here, guys, it is running all of the marker lamps. There's my old little lady. I'm trying to decide which one of these I want to sell. Haven't decided yet because I love this girl. This one is a pretty nice trailer too, but just something about the old stuff just really nice. But it's going to go through its full setting of stuff, check the brake lights, check the blinkers and everything like that. But it gives you time to walk around and check it. So I'm going to wrap up this test. All right, from here, once we get done with that, we can go ahead and exit that. We have all of our trailer sway control and everything on here. I'm not using the towing connected navigation today. I know my route, so we're good there. We're gonna come over here to the display, and I don't know, you can barely see the heads-up display, but it's time to put it in tow haul mode. So we're gonna go there. You're gonna see how this pops up again, guys, with the trailer menu here. Now, if you wanted to, you can press menu and configure the trailer tow menu to however you want. You can kind of just go through there. I just leave it up like that. It has everything I like. Now, the pitch is gonna be nice when we start pulling those heavy mountain grades, so we can kind of get a little bit better determination of what the truck sees, what we're doing here. But other than that, we're ready to rock and roll. I've heard people say that, hey man, I wouldn't tow, I would lock out the last 3 gears and only have 7. That's completely up to you guys. The way these trucks are made, it's made for us to just hop in, do trailer tow mode, and let the transmission do itself. That is completely up to you guys on what you want to do. From there, it is what it is. So we cruise up here. You can probably barely see up there, that little line right there. That is the tachometer and speed. And once we get going, it'll show you what gear we're in, everything. Now again, before we get going, we want to check our trailer brakes. If you look up there, it actually shows you your trailer brakes. So you don't have to look down to fiddle fart with this thing. I love the heads-up display in the Ford, so that is very, very cool. All right, before we get going, guys, you can see it remembered my last average fuel economy while I was towing this down to Lake McConaughey when we did the small trailer and then the big trailer. You can see it's adjusted my range of fuel economy to 228 with the trailer based on that current configuration. So from there, guys, we're good to go. Now, one thing I wanted to show you, so it does have this blindside trailer look, which Chevy has it, Ram has it, Ford has it, but on Ford you get the biggest display of it that you can. The resolution's not as good as Chevy, and I think the Ram resolution might be a smidge better also than the Ford, but with this big of an area to see, we have really good visibility. That's the passenger side. Here is the driver's side. So I mean, we're good to go. So we've checked all our connections. We've done everything. Right now, the trans temp is 204. Now, my experience last time was when this thing gets to go into work, it actually keeps the transmission cooler than just standard driving. We're gonna look out here. We're gonna power scope these mirrors, get them out there. Again, if you have this style of mirror on your Super Duty, whether it's electric or manual, they will slide out. So but it's nice from there is I don't really have to change anything. I always do point my convexes just a little bit lower so I can see the tires on there, so that's pretty cool. And then from this look too, guys, you can also kind of see the tires. So it's a good mindset to be in to keep checking your tires while you're driving. So let's get cruising and we'll check back here in just a little bit, see how the trans temps are doing. So again, very little effort, guys, on this 430 getting going up and down the highway. Again, is it a diesel? No, but it does really well. I think the 373 is still the sweet spot for overall general towing, 15K and under, and I think for better fuel economy in average. But again, if you're going Tremor, you're getting the 430. And even if you went with just a regular truck, not the Tremor, with the 430, I think your fuel economy does improve some with the better air dam stuff. But I always love this little drop down into my hometown. It's kind of in a nice little valley. You just kind of cruise in. And as soon as you let off the throttle in this thing, towing or not, it just starts gearing down and really pulling back the speed. So I really do enjoy that. I like the exhaust note of it. But yeah, right now we're running 210 on the trans temp and 80 degrees outside. Let's get over here and show you. So top right hand corner, 79 degrees. So now we're going to start working our way back to the Metro and see how it does. Now, just a thing of note that I will tell you is different with the 430, the Tremor, and the 24 over the 22, and whether this is a 430 thing or not in the way it holds gear ranges. But if you do dig down into your gear selector and gear down and then give it back to gears, it will not speed up if you're going down until you push the throttle. It'll stay in that gear and hold it, and it does a pretty good job. Does it do as well as the Allison? Well, the Allison's a different animal with the LAT, but it does a lot better than it did in 22, and I think it does pretty good in general. They're two different transmissions, two different mindsets at how it does it. Now, I will tell you this, in both the Kong and in the General, I always talked about using cruise control to see how it holds it. Well, in this one, the 24, for the dynamic grade braking, if you're using cruise control and you set 35, it will activate the brakes in addition to using gearing to hold the grade. So just keep in mind before you're kind of in control of doing your own thing without applying the brakes. And it doesn't standard cruise control too, but it will use braking. So just keep that in mind. If you're coming down the pass, you just have it set at 35. It should do everything okay. We will check and do that on one of the tow tests coming up and see how the brakes heat up, allowing the truck to do that versus us just trying to use gearing and stab braking, which is basically like a trucker way of doing it, where you slow down for about 5 seconds, you use the brakes, you let off. Once you get to your speed, you let off and let them cool down, and then use that braking technique and gearing to keep it in control too. So other than that, we're going to watch our temperatures here and see how it does as she keeps getting hotter. All right, everybody, we are about 90 miles into this little trip. This is a good opportunity when you're out here dealing with the heat and all the BS. Make sure you also stop and check your trailer tires. These, we all know trailer tires are not made well. If they're more than a year or two old, always make sure you check for sidewall perforation, you know, where it starts to bubble or something like this. Catch it before it becomes a catastrophic problem. As a truck driver hauling hazmat, I got to get out and check them about every 150 miles anyway. But especially your first trip out of everything, you should check them before you go, check tire pressures, just get a good feel, vibe, see, make sure the tires look good. We don't want them to shred this up. Now, so far the temp out here is only about 91, and interesting enough, the trans, every time it's actually trying to work harder, it actually stays cooler. So Ford must have done a tweak with the cooling fan and how that's all going to work. The highest temp I've seen is 217. That was for all about a minute and a half, and then it dropped right back down to 208. So very happy so far with the trans temps. We're going to keep on going as we climb into Denver. Again, this is a rolling plains. We have some hills. We're going to get up and have some higher speeds here in a minute, which will probably put that transmission to more work. But so far, I'm really happy with what it is, because I've actually seen empty the trans temp get up at lower ambient temperatures, almost to like 229, 230 empty, just driving around town. So this is very unique. I'm very happy so far towing, so let's keep on rolling. All right, so far guys, we are about 160 miles into the trip back. Truck's done really well with its temps. We'll get to that in just a second. Whether it was at 65 in the 65 mile an hour zone or the 70 and the 75, the temps just basically stayed the same. Now there was a point where I had to pull kind of about 6 miles worth of hills, if you will, and the highest temp I still saw was the 221 on the trans temp. Water temp, highest I saw was 208, and the oil temp highest was 218. Now let's flash over here. You can see right there we're hovering at 99 degrees. It was supposed to be 100 and something today. We're going to come over here, and you can see right there 213, 198. The coolant temps actually stayed very, very good, and everything like that. The truck itself is doing its adaptive cruise control stuff, so it slowed me down. So now I'm getting back into it myself. So again, temp-wise, it stayed just fine. We've had no issues. The truck just cruised down the road. There's no doubt if you wanted to tow at 80 mile an hour, you could do that with this truck. I think the fuel economy is going to be right about that 7.5 and above, even at that higher speed, probably under 18,000 pounds. Again, this isn't the heaviest thing that this truck can tow. I think the vast majority of people are probably going to be towing under 15, especially the newer trailers. They're just lighter. But overall, I still haven't seen that high temp that I saw before. Now, we'll talk later about what Ford calls their hot range or whatever. These are the actual normal operating temperatures of the transmission, even almost 100 degrees ambient temperature outside. So again, if we look at the gauges down here, you can see they're nowhere near the yellow or even the red at that. Even at 230, it's not touching the yellow. And I've had a lot of people come say that that's just the temperature it is. For me, I look at heat as being the enemy to anything. So the Chevy stayed way cooler. The Ram with the diesel stayed way cooler, but you're talking a heavier cooling system with the Cummins. The Hemis, they towed warmer, like the Ford does. The Chevy just kind of just stays right where it's at all the time. Again, that was with the Allison though, so they have probably changed a lot of different things, and having that extra handful of gears really helps the temperature stay right where they're at. So, and again, this is with the lower octane fuel, the E15 fuel, if you will. So I would anticipate with even the higher octane fuel, even lower engine temps. But yeah, that is how the Godzilla towed over basically 178 miles in 100-degree heat roughly. And yeah, it did pretty dang good. All right, guys, appreciate you guys being here. Don't forget to hit the notification bell so you know I post new content, and to subscribe. Thanks.